welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who only drinks from ponds that have dead zombies in it. It's John Levingood.
Oh, that's horrible. That sounds disgusting.
Well, the reason...
You know, like when you're at a brewery, though, and you get some of these IPAs that are kind of like, they're a little dank and funky?
Yeah.
That's just dank and funk. There's no good mosaic or citra behind it when you're drinking bloated zombie pond water.
There are no Cascade hops.
Nope.
But that's what I was so, this is a big one, John. This is huge for us. We are finishing up our Resident Evil franchise podcast with Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. And there's a scene in this movie in the beginning where Alice walks up to the grossest, it's in DC, so I don't know, like it's somewhere around there, but she walks up to the grossest pond or like man-made fountain and just starts scooping water into her mouth. And there's algae and there's like logs and bricks, and then a bloated zombie pops out.
Yep.
But I'm just like, I like you, Alice, but I don't understand why you're drinking this water.
Well, I suppose like she was really in a bad place. In terms of thirst or something.
No, you're right. I've never been to the point in my life where I've wanted to drink water from something like that. But would you do it, John?
I don't know what she was feeling, but I don't think there's been a time in my life where I was actually so thirsty that I would just haphazardly do that without a moment's pause.
I mean, she's been dealing with zombies for 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess throw a rock into it or something. I don't know. But, That was my. I mean, no one ever expects though for there to be a zombie in the water. Yeah.
Like, and the other thing is that sometimes in these movies the director will pull a fast one. Like, why was there an inert resting zombie laying down under the surface of the water?
And it shows that it can leave the water.
Right. So it's like. It's totally senseless that is purely a haunted house of horrors gag. It is a video game gag. It's the thing that it makes no plausible sense to whatever ecology of zombies we've been presented.
Do you think this zombie they're not smart enough? It didn't see Alice and go, oh man, that's Alice. I can't win a head-to-head battle. So he runs into the pond, the man-made fountain, and just lays there.
And it was there for a long time, though, because it was bloated and falling apart.
Yeah, so it's just been chilling in there.
It has been there for a long time, and there's not a reason in the world that I can come up with for it to have just been sitting there the whole time.
Do you think it owns other zombies' money? So it's laying low?
I guess. Like it never gladly paid them Tuesday for the burger it had today. There's an old reference.
Would a zombie bloat?
Yeah. I mean, like a dead body.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But I guess they're like reanimated. But I mean, the water is still gonna take hold and saturate to some degree because the typical homeostatic activities aren't happening. I guess. Like it's hard to say.
All right. So how about this? Before we get any further into I love this conversation about talking about the bloated fountain zombie. But you want to answer a couple listener questions before we jump into this? I mean, this is epic. So who do you want to start with, John? Do you want me to read them? Do you want to read them?
You go ahead. You handle them. And I don't think it matters which order we do these in.
All right. So let's start with Johnny Numb.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. I mean, Johnny.
So we're going to start with with a question that is as long as a podcast.
You know, because Johnny listens to all of our podcasts, you know, and I just don't want him waiting to hear this. I want him to hear our answer right off the bat. So we got to give this one to Johnny Numb. So Johnny Numb asks, the final chapter was my first exposure to the enigmatic Ruby Rose. At around the time of the film's release, she was appearing in a plethora of sequels, XXX3, John Wick 2, and later Pitch Perfect 3. She's become one of those actresses who provides an incentive to check out a movie I normally wouldn't because she seems to embrace the unabashed B-movie spirit. Case in point, The Meg. My question is, which series, current or discontinued, would you have liked to see Ruby Rose in? And what type of character would she portray? One caveat, your answer cannot be the Fast and the Furious because that would be too easy. I also recognize this question is contingent on you guys liking her as much as I do, so feel free to scrap it if you don't.
Just right out of the gate, like I really do like what she tends to add to just about any movie. She has a pleasant dynamic to her. Yeah, so I'm a fan.
And I would say her roles aren't exactly written like to the hilt. She's not given a real three-dimensional character. Like in Pitch Perfect 3, she was a sassy band member. In
Triple X, she was just the tech lady.
Yeah, tech lady. And Nina Dobrev was the one who got to do all the funky stuff in Triple X. She was funny in that. And then in The Meg, she's the person who builds the tanks, and she's just hanging out. Mm-hmm. And you know what's interesting? In John Wick 3, John Wick 2, when she got hired, she had dialogue. And then the director's like, wait a second, she shouldn't have dialogue. Because she should be, like, just deadly. And then she was like, are you serious? I had all this dialogue, and then you take it all away? And she's like, she had a lot of trust in the director. Because her dialogue was taken all away.
That character was very interesting, but from a practical sense, I'm totally not on board with having the head of your security not being able to call out at somebody.
Yeah.
And even they can't utilize earpieces the same way. Like, she can't give them orders over earpieces or anything. Like, she was a really badass character.
Yeah.
Right. But just it's a great comic book villain. But in the real world, that's not going to work.
Yeah. If you have a steady, like, if you're just a lower tier group of henchmen, right? And you just have one leader and you guys just kind of boost stuff and no one gets killed. You could have the henchmen learn sign language, go off of, not use the radios, maybe use Morse on the radio. I don't know. I'm getting really in depth. But the amount of henchmen that get murdered in this world, whenever they hire them, they can't all keep up with they can't all sign, or they can't all, do that kind of stuff. So it would be
unless
tough.
On Henchmen LinkedIn, they are only hiring henchmen who already know sign language. And I really don't think that's a lot of them.
Yeah, especially he's just killing a lot of them too. So,
dude, there were so many well-manicured ponytails and oiled beards getting slaughtered in that movie.
I have never seen better groomed henchmen. The final battle in the mirror room, those guys shaved 5 minutes before they went in to fight him.
And they freshly oiled their beards.
Yeah, when they were called. No, do you think they have a van with mirrors on the back of the seats, and so they're in there kind of doing their beards up?
Sure, yeah, I can see it. They got the vanity.
Yeah, I mean, there's mirrors in that room too. That'd have been funny if one of them was checking himself out, and then Wick shoots him.
Just break. That seems kind of mean. Like he doesn't even know what kind of day he's gonna have, and they just like boom, half of his face is torn off while he was cleaning up his beard, like plucking a gray hair or something.
Yeah, all right. I guess I took us off track.
Okay. So in answering this question, I actually just not even deliberately, I kind of envisioned Ruby Rose replacing iconic characters in existing franchise films. But of course that kind of just goes to where I kind of see her and a kind of thing. Like I think of like James Cameron movies or something, right? Like she could have been the TX. She could have been Vasquez in Aliens. Or some other colonial marine. She could have been kind of a Ripley character. I could see her in the first Alien, probably not with sleeves of tattoos. That's a little overstated for what you expect from a character. But like, I could picture her in roles like that. Those practical, gritty action movies.
I think she would fit in well in the Pirates world.
Oh, like Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
Definitely. That's a good call.
You know how they always pick up there's always some cool pirates in the films. I mean, even when I remember nothing from the fourth one. I remember a bad sword fight, and I remember him joined up running around a little bit. But in the first, second, third, or fifth, she could have been part of the crew easily.
Oh, yeah.
And then I also think, this is weird, but go with me. I've watched all the Twilight movies. I think she would have been a fun evil vampire, because I was watching it again. So I was in Italy and I was watching it with Italian subtitles, and it's much better. But Michael Sheen is just hamming it up in that movie. I mean, he's like, I am in not a good movie, and I'm just gonna. I mean, this movie's gonna make $700 million, but I'm just gonna like he doesn't just nibble on the scenery; he chews on the scenery. And then you have Bryce Dallas Howard hamming it up, like all like Dakota Fanning, like all these vampire villains are just straight cheesing. And I think she would be a really good evil vampire, just to like pop up for a movie,
see that.
Pop up in a movie, kind of be jerky, have fun with it, be like, hey, Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson, you guys are good actors, but you're forced to be really dour in this movie, and I don't have to be. I get to have fun. She'll actually say that in the movie, and it just gets really meta. But I think she could just like, I think she would be a good addition to that. I could see her being a cheeky vampire who's just evil. She kills one of the werewolves, and everyone's like, no! And then she's like, ha ha. Done wolf.
Yeah, I can see it. It turns out I've only seen one Twilight movie, and it was the first one, and I learned my lesson.
There's one directed by David Slade, which I've only watched each one once. And I remember it not being bad. I think that's the third one.
How many are there? 4, 5?
4 or 5. And I remember the last 2 feeling like fever dreams. I hadn't been, I was, it's not
You're not
like
keeping up. You're not like rewatching them so everything's fresh.
Yeah, no. I mean, I really enjoyed the Italian dubs. I enjoyed those. But it's because you had some Peronis, and you're like, hey, this is great. But yeah, no, those 4th and 5th. But I could see her just kind of hamming it up in one of those and then meeting her end because of K-Stew. Or in the Pirates movies, just like tat her up, who cares? Let her shoot some cannons. Let her have a baller sword fight. I think she'd be a solid addition to that. Cause I'm just, the way I'm thinking is like, she's never been the main character. So I didn't think in that terms. I just kind of threw her into like the character she has been playing.
If they remade Tremors, I think she'd be like a great addition to like a couple random misfits out in Arizona dealing with those graboids.
Or like, or the punk scientists out there. Like she's like getting her degree out there, and she has all her tats, and she's like, I'm out here checking out this world. Like she'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Or she could be one half of the, Kevin Bacon and the other guy just turned out to be women. Her and Aubrey Plaza are running around in the.
Oh, that's a good pair right there.
Yeah, her in the desert just running around fighting tremors. Man, Hey, we're gonna be. You know what I'm about to say, John. We need to be associate producers on these.
Associate producer. We're waiting for that movie to cut. If Ruby Rose is attached to anything that even resembles Tremors.
Yep.
We expect something.
And in the credits, special thanks somewhere in the middle, so it's hard to read. We'll put Johnny Numb.
Right. For inspiring it.
That was fun.
Yeah, that's a good question.
We took that. In the beginning, John, when we did this podcast years ago, we would have gone off the rails with an answer, but we just answered that.
No, we have a good hard answer. After we were amusing ourselves, not even paying attention to the question.
And I guarantee that someone, when one of our suggestions heard it and went, that could work.
Yeah.
You're listening to this podcast. I guarantee. If you didn't, tweet me or send me a message and be like, Mark, I didn't. But if you did, tweet me or message John or I and just be like, yeah, I thought that'd be a good idea. Here's a tweet.
But tell us why. Because then it's more fun to share.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about it. Let us know. Just don't be like, no.
Yeah. Comments on some of your articles of the past.
Oh, man.
No.
Oh, goodness. Brother.
So much anger in there.
I read the headline and I hate this.
Just vitriol.
Oh, gosh. All right. So our next question is from, at work, I was talking to some people about movies and talking about the Resident Evil movies. And somehow it got like us into a conversation about people hanging upside down and shooting people. And we were talking about other movies. I don't want to bring it up just in case you use those. And then he was kind of like, what is your favorite? So I kind of took that and used this for this podcast. And so the question is, what is your favorite moment involving someone being upside down and like winning a gunfight or, shooting people? So what is your favorite?
In the question, I think when you wrote it it mentioned like the Boondock Saints. So yeah. I did not use the Boondock Saints that would have been my first choice though.
Oh, no.
Because it would have stemmed from all the Charlie Bronson's always got rope. Here's your bloody rope. Like those guys were just wonderful with the rope gag and the way that played. That would have been my first choice, but I think that's like everyone's. And I got to say, I really had a lot of trouble thinking something up. Did I make this up, or didn't Clive Owen have an interesting scene like this in Shoot 'Em Up?
I'm pretty sure he did. I mean, he shot people in every way imaginable in that movie.
While having sex with Monica Bellucci as well. But the sex scene gunfight. But what actually came to mind wasn't a gunfight. What came to mind for me was just like one nice little scene in a movie that I can watch every week of my life. True Lies. When Arnold Schwarzenegger is just sliding down the rope upside down to snap that Middle Eastern terrorist's neck.
Yeah, I do remember that.
It's just that easy. But that movie for me was like Arnold at his peak. Like that was because he was still doing his one-liners, but he was a little less cheesy about it. It was more dad joke-ish, and he was a dad. And so and he was wearing a button-up shirt and slacks when he did this, upside down to kill this guy. So like that scene really, so many scenes in that movie, by the way, really stick with me. I could podcast about True Lies. That's a fun one.
Isn't there a scene where he's going down a hill and he's like shooting snowmobile people that are coming at him?
Right, and he is sliding on his back.
Yeah, and misses all the trees.
Head forward, going down a hill really fast, like shooting as if he was laying on a tarp or something, or getting pulled. Like it's so impractical, and yet for some reason I just buy it all. I am on that journey. I can't help but to wonder if that scene, because of all those shenanigans with like snowmobiles and dudes on skis with guns, like did that influence like the Pierce Brosnan Bond movie that had a fight like that, or like when they were trying to get in Cillian Murphy's head in Inception, like. Because that snow fight was at the time like the most awesome snow fight there probably ever was in True Lies.
Yeah, I mean that was. I mean, Bond had some good ones, but they were never as cool as this one. This one took that element and made it much better. And I guess he's kind of upside down, right? Not upside down. He's going backwards, shooting people.
It's lunacy. Downhill too. That's got to be so disorienting. You are sliding down the snow head first down a steep slope on your back. Like you are so. Yeah. What if he did hit a tree? He'd just be dead.
Yeah. Your head would be smushed.
That was more dangerous than getting shot at.
And then he's just wiping those dudes out. You know what movies like that? Like Tom Arnold, I think, is very good in True Lies. So it's movies like Scream, where David Arquette and Jamie Kennedy are very good. And there's other movies, of course. Like I thought, Rose McGowan was really good in Planet Terror. You see these actors be really good in some movies, and then other movies don't really know how to use them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're like, it
was a perfect balance of Tom Arnold's zaniness with being a kind of serious character.
Yeah, it's interesting how you watch them. I'm not saying they're all always bad, but when people are like, "Oh yeah, they're not good actors," I'm like, "Well, I think they are. I just think they got maybe pigeonholed into something."
Tom Arnold in True Lies could just as well actually be the same exact character as Tom Arnold from 9 Months.
Oh yeah, he's funny in that. And I like him in Austin Powers too. Yeah, you tell him who's boss.
Yeah, that's right. You show that true.
I saw 9 Months in the theater 3 times. That's Jeff Goldblum, Robin Williams, Tom Arnold, Hugh Grant, Julianne Moore. That's a stacked cast.
Joan Cusack.
How did I forget the Joan?
Yeah, she was. I love that movie. I love that. I love that more than I feel. I don't think most people can understand loving that movie as much as I love that movie.
I can probably count on 2 hands the amount of movies I've watched in theaters 3 times, and that was one of them. I just had a fun time with that. But my answer.
Okay.
I was going to say Boondock Saints, but we already brought that up. But in Boondock Saints, is an accident how it happens. Like they fall and the rope randomly gets around their feet. That's why I went Punisher Warzone. There's a scene in Punisher Warzone, the opening scene, where the Punisher walks in, jumps on a banquet table, murders a ton of people. Then he jumps up, attaches his legs. Ray Stevenson, 6'4", 250 pounds, goes upside down, attaches his legs to a hanging chandelier, and just starts shoots people for no reason. Like, he could have stayed on his feet and been equally effective and not had blood rushing to his head.
That can't be good for your aim.
He had no reason to do that, but he just randomly does it. So that's why I did it, because it was a conscious choice. He wasn't stuck upside down. He wasn't, he didn't just randomly fall and get the rope attached to his foot. He made the conscious choice, a 6'4", 250-pound man, to hang from his legs from a chandelier. I respect that.
I need to see that ridiculous movie one day.
You haven't watched it?
No, I've never seen it.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, it's like,
I still remember you going crazy about that when he like Scud missiles or whatever bazookas the parkour guy.
I watched that movie the one time, right, and I did not like it. And then I listened to an interview with the director, and I think maybe it just changed my perception of it, because I maybe thought it just wasn't going to be a good movie. This is 10 years ago. So I gave it another chance, and I watched it again, and I loved it. You have to I think you just have to get in the wavelength of just how crazy it is. It's like unhealthy. It's just crazy. And everyone just commits. So, and there's a 250-pound 6'4" Punisher running around very slowly, which makes me happy.
He's a big fella.
All right. That was fun, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into this movie, John. The final one. So this came out in 2017. It only made $26 million domestically, but it made $312 million internationally. Paul W.S. Anderson came back to direct and write. Jeremy Bolt was back. Then we had Milla Jovovich. She's back as always. And they brought back some familiar faces with Claire, played by Ellie Larder. She was in 3, 4, and 6. Then you bring back Wesker, Sean Roberts, who's been a problem through all of this. He's even more Zoolander in this movie. Then you have Dr. Isaacs, who plays 2 characters in this movie. Spoiler.
3
characters in this. Oh yeah, 3 characters.
Oh wait, or is it 3 or is it? Yeah, it's 3.
And what I love about him is I already used this line because I was going to use it for him, but I used it earlier. One of his scenes, he's basically just nibbling scenery, and the other one, he's just full on chewing on film. In this one, and he's my favorite part of this movie. There's this line when I'm jumping to the end, and we can get there a little later. But when he looks at so there's 3 kind of Alices together, and he goes, the Trinity of bitches. I'm like, and he goes, I've been ahead of you every step of the way. It's just like he's like in Game of Thrones and Monarch of the Glen, he's very love struck with these women, and he falls in love, but he can't get them. And then this one, he's just full on villain, and I love him in this movie. He's my favorite part.
It's interesting because I've been rewatching Game of Thrones lately, getting ready for the final season next year, and so I'll watch. You see a couple episodes of him in like season 2 being all noble and thoughtful and well spoken, and then you go watch Resident Evil, the final chapter, where he is just the most zany caricature of his own characters in this franchise that we've ever seen, and doing multiple roles. Like they're all zany. And then, I go back and I watch him as Jorah Mormont again, and it's just like, what is happening right now? Like, I can't process that this stuff was being made around the same time. These feel like they should be from very different chapters in someone's career.
Yeah, no, for sure. I wonder if he mixed up the characters sometimes, and the director's like, what's going on, Ian? But
yeah, like he plays this zealot, and he plays
Jerky.
He plays 2 versions of himself, one of whom is Agent Smith.
I love it though. Like this movie, I looked over at my wife Megan. I had it on this morning, just taking some notes because I just didn't have much notes on it. So I'm like, I need to really give this, so we're having our morning coffee, and I put this on to kind of watch the ending because the comment you made about the ending and everything coming together. And I'm watching this, and just I looked over at Megan, and I was like, I wish I could have this, like, if I was an actor, I would want this role that he plays in this, because he just did whatever he wanted, I felt like.
It's a fun role.
Like, he should have been holding like a full-on honey-baked ham.
That's right.
During each role. Just to be very literal about it. But,
yeah, it's interesting. So something that I really appreciate about this franchise is that it does 2 things that really I don't think normally would happen in the same franchise. One of them is it's very blatant. At the end of every single movie, it basically says, boom, see you with the sequel. This is what's happening next. Yeah. And then it actually picks up right there in the next movie, whenever the next movie comes out. So it's doing this cheap, like, hey, there's going to be a sequel. But then on the other side, though, of the cheap tactics, it really did slowly enrich the characters, not like Alice's sidekicks that she meets in each movie, but it enriches the whole franchise length characters. The Alice character, the Dr. Isaacs character, what we learn about the Red Queen, what we learn about Wesker. Like we learn more and more about these characters as the franchise goes on, and you're always wondering, like, are they ever going to wrap this up? Am I ever going to know anything about this? Or are they just doing video game shenanigans? Or are they just telling us stuff? And they actually, I feel like they really, of all the silliness of this franchise, I think they did a nice job wrapping up a lot of those things.
You know what it kind of solidified for me? And I totally agree with you. It's a nice ending. So it ends everything.
This ending is nicer than a Resident Evil franchise would deserve in my head.
Just another cliffhanger. Like what? Well, she killed them, but then you realize that she just killed the clones.
Right.
But I guess for me, this made me realize that the Red Queen might be the hero of this story.
Right.
She is the hero because in the first one, all right. So
She even explains her actions from the first movie.
I don't even understand why that guy threw the T virus then, if they were just gonna do one anyway. Because he was trying to escape. And then, if she's a clone, how is she doing deals because she didn't remember? Because she was with that one lady trying to get in there. That kind of retcons some ideas. But the Red Queen's basically like, I can't let people out because this is going to kill billions. And you're already infected. I'm not trying to kill innocent. And there's a point where the Red Queen goes, I can let you guys go, but the infected person needs to stay with me. Because billions will die. And they're like, you're evil, you're homicidal. And then, in the third one, she's like, yeah, you're a homicidal bee. And she's like, well, I was just doing my job.
Right.
And then in the fifth one, she's back in that training facility, and she's not trying to destroy the world, right? She's just running simulations to do whatever. But then Wesker gets Alice out of there, destroys the facility, then turns on her. And then in this one, the Red Queen's like, I'm going to help you. So I think the Red Queen's kind of the hero of the story.
Yeah.
And
that's pretty fair.
It was Milla and the director's daughter in this one. That's actually their daughter that they did this together. Paul W.S. and Milla Jovovich. They got married, had a kid in between the 15 years that they made these movies. 16 years. So that's kind of fun that they weren't married on Resident Evil. Then they got married, had a kid, and the kid's in the sixth one.
That's cute. I didn't realize that. Yeah.
And then, so I mean, I thought the Red Queen was a hero. I know we're jumping the end, but who cares? I liked how Wesker got. That was fun because he's just a punk.
God.
That was a funny ending, though.
The very ending or his end?
When she goes, Wesker, you're fired. Then the Red Queen's like, yeehaw!
Wesker was such a... It's funny. They got rid of him like he was just a sniveling shit in this one, whereas in the previous movie, he was Agent Smith in the Matrix sequels. Like... Yeah.
And he ate everybody on a ship, didn't he?
He was trying to. And, he just wanted to watch the world burn.
I read an article from Bloody Disgusting where they basically said that there's tons of plot holes in this movie. And they're like, listen, this, and can I read a couple to you? And we don't have to go too in depth, but this is what, I liked what she wrote about this. So in the second Resident Evil, we learned that the T virus was created by... In Resident Evil Apocalypse, we are told that Dr. Charles Ashford's Jared Harris' daughter, Angela Sophie had to walk on crutches when she was little. Charles found a way to make her stronger. This was the T virus. So did Jared Harris invent the T virus, and then Umbrella stole the virus from him and harnessed it to make organic weapons? So he created it, and then the Umbrella Corporation stole it, and then it all comes down to semantics. Charles Ashford found a way to cure his daughter, and James Marcus discovered the T virus to cure his daughter, If it was Ashford, Jared Harris, then that means Marcus stole his research, squandering any sympathy the final chapter asked to have for him. He's the father of Milla, the original Milla, not the clone. And then if Marcus created it, then that means Ashford stole it from him, which also loses any sympathy that Apocalypse asked the audience to have for him. So
I don't think that anyone had to steal it from anybody. It's going to be company property, and there are probably like 80,000 different patents of variations of what they did with that T-virus.
All right, then that's fine.
But I mean, just like from the very practical, real world science aspect that will never ever be illustrated properly in a movie. Like you need to know too much usually, but it's like they probably had so many iterations of that, and you probably had teams of scientists involved.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's certainly, I'm not dismissing the validity of the claim, because as it was presented, it just looks like, major inconsistencies. As it was presented in the movie to us, it wasn't presented with the fairness that I just stated.
I guess the one thing about this is that they made it so far. They made these movies over 15 years, 2002 to 2017, and they made 6 of them, so they weren't coming out all the time. And I bet there are just moments where Paul W.S. Anderson's like, whatever. Like, it's like the new Halloween, which forgets all the other Halloweens except for the first Halloween. Like, right. He was like, it still makes sense. You just can't dig into it. And I never dug that deep into this series anyway.
So I've got one inconsistency thing, and maybe I didn't catch, a line of dialogue or something. Maybe this is on that list, but Alice had to go in this movie all the way back to the hive where everything started, where there was apparently an antivirus. So was it there for all 6 movies?
Oh, crap.
Because like she's there, and then they leave, and then they eventually kind of come back, and they leave, and they're going all over the world. Evil goes global. We go to the White House. Now we're in this movie, and it's like, oh, we're going all the way back to the hive because there was this antivirus there the whole time. And if it was if it was there the whole time, or regardless of where it was, the Red Queen would have known about it in the first movie.
Yeah. And
wouldn't have had to keep them trapped there to kill them to appear to be the villain. Right? Am I now it's possible that I missed something here, across all these movies, but could this all have been solved in movie 1?
Yeah, because they stayed there the whole time, correct? And all the clones were just waiting.
We're all over the world.
Well, and I want to draw a map.
This thing was just there.
I want to draw a map of where Alice traveled over the 10 years.
I'd also like to address that while I am not strong in epidemiology or immunology or any of these things, they have nothing to do with my educational background. But it seems to me that this movie thinks that if you have an antivirus that is airborne and you just release it, the virus will live forever, is indestructible, and eventually it will permeate everywhere on the planet.
I mean, in this world.
Right, but that's one hell of an antivirus. Just saying, it's.
I mean, that's a legit Well, because the other one did that too, right? The other one that spread all over the world. She said it spread all over the world in days.
Yeah, but
people
virus,
carried it. But people carried
virus,
it.
Yeah, is being vectored from one host to another. This antivirus is just killing it. It's not like it is a virus that goes and hops around. So that's it's like an anti-venom almost.
Jeez Louise.
Now, if they said that it itself was also a virus, that's cool. But then if it's killing all of its hosts, how is it later being transferred somewhere else alive? Otherwise, the virus will just die.
Oh, brother. It just happens.
But again, a little hand waving is based on video games.
Yeah, this yada yada. But you know what annoys me? I guess speaking of hand waving and yada yada, I was kind of bummed that the ending of the 5th one they just completely ignore, and then they go to the ending of the 6th one. It's like, hey, he fooled you. Like, Wesker brings them all to DC, and then we learn, 5. Yeah, and then at the end of part, and then he just tricks them, and then everyone's dead. Well, Bing Bing Lee couldn't come back. They never asked the other lady, so it's just Milla who got tricked by a guy. Like, right. That's not a really great way to start a movie. Like, Wesker just tricked us.
Right. They even threw the line of dialogue out there like, and he fooled you into thinking that he gave you your powers back. Isn't that really obvious with this T-virus, by the way, when you're suddenly superhuman? Like, if you stub your toe, it doesn't hurt.
I wish he would have done Dark Helmet and been like, fooled you.
Fooled you.
But I have to say, the first 15 minutes are tough for me. Because Alice gets tricked 3 times and snuck up on 3 times. In the first, 3 minutes of this movie. Or, 50 minutes.
Including the bloated water zombie that I maintain was stolen from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, from the well.
Yeah.
And this one just doesn't rip in half when they're trying to rip it from the well. But there's so there's a scene where she wakes up, she tries to drink gross water, the thing pops up at her, and then there's a dragon that's just hiding under rubble. So,
yep.
Wait, has this thing been hiding under rubble for that long?
For the days since that battle that ended part 5, I guess.
So it's just been hiding under rubble. So she has a zombie, and then that thing comes out of nowhere, and then she drives in a straight line and kills the flying lizard. Which, I mean, whatever. It's good CGI.
With a crane claw tail butt thing. So that is not practical.
She just drives into it, and then she gets on a motorcycle. She walks up to this bridge. She gets caught, right? Kills some guys upside down. That hence the question. And then she gets on a motorcycle, and then that shocks her. Then she gets kidnapped. So in the first 15 minutes of this movie, you have a bloated zombie. A thing sneaks up on her. She gets trapped. Then she gets electrocuted. It's not a great way to deal with your main character. And I just think Alice has been through so much in 10 years. She wouldn't be caught like she is in the third one. Well,
yeah, and she's in. This movie more than any of the others really reminds me of The Walking Dead, by the way. A lot of the imagery, the scapes when she's on the motorcycle and it's what is it, a crane shot or something, or maybe it's just CGI. The use of the zombie hordes, and kind of corralling them and using them as tools, a lot of this stuff up. But now the ambush scene, I'm not going to liken to The Walking Dead. That's an 89 things. That you'd get that in The Road. You get that in any post-apocalyptic thing. But it just felt like that. But so going with that, in part 4, we learned that she had spent a year. She tried to go to Alaska. Oh no, the virus was there. So now she's just been going around searching for people and her friends or whatever. So she has been on the road in this zompocalypse. Solo, right? Scavenging, presumably, a la Walking Dead or something. So she would be probably really wise to this kind of trap where there's this motorcycle propped up. There's a good resource available.
Yeah.
She'd probably be better at spotting people hiding around and knowing the tells. I feel like she should be smarter than them.
Yeah, I know you're supposed to think that this is Resident Evil, but it just seemed weird to just I don't know, just put her in these situations in the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Now, and maybe this would make sense to you with more of a filmmaking background, but because there was the bigger gap since the last movie, there were 4 or 5 years, because they weren't popping out a movie every 2 or 3 years like they were before. Do you think that they just knew that people weren't going to rewatch all these movies and they needed to remind you that she isn't always superhuman or something? Do you think, I don't know, do you think that there was a decision behind having her get had like this over and over again in the beginning? She's new to this or something?
I guess it gets her, all these things lead her to getting back on, it gets her in that tank, right?
Right.
So
into the mobile zealot tank cult,
Tankmobile,
with wild-eyed, damn near Nicolas Cage, Dr. Isaacs,
and the people in there were all about it too, right? Yeah. They were throw her
except
out.
For the prisoners, right?
The prisoners started turning on her too, didn't they?
Right, because I think if they showed support or alliance or anything, they would be the next to be punished.
Get her out of here.
Yes. So that was some zaniness there too, just with all that, with the tanks.
I mean, I like the visual though. I just worried if their batteries went.
Right.
I mean, that would be kind of, I mean, I don't care how impractical that is. I think it's pretty cool. And then I guess it leads to a scene where she has a massive tank fight with Sir Jorah Mormont and cuts off his hand and steals a motorcycle. So she's learning. She's getting better.
Yeah.
And then
pretty quickly.
She's a fast learner. All right. So she meets up with Sir Jorah Mormont or Ian Glenn or whatever the character's name is, and Dr. Isaacs. And she's on this. He explains that they're going to go back to the home, right, to destroy it. The remaining humans. She escapes. And she goes and finds some ragtag survivors with Claire, played by Ali Larter, and a bunch of dudes we don't care about. Do you think the Resident Evil... I was going to ask you this, John. I think one of my least favorite thing about the Resident Evil movies are just all the random dudes that no one cares about who are introduced.
Yeah, and on top of that, I'll say that in this movie, I cared about the ragtags even less than the other movies.
I like... who's the dude from 2 and 3?
I know Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos. I like him a lot. Boris was cool. The basketball the athlete guy. I forget his name. I liked him. I thought he had personality. But like Leon and the other people, I just never. And then so in this one they introduced 3 new dudes who you're supposed to care about. I'm like, they're gonna die.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. And again, Ruby Rose she was just like the most spunky character. She seemed to be the most interesting character, but they didn't really give her a lot either.
And I just want you to know something, John. She builds trebuchets. And
right. She does.
I'm a trebuchet guy. So when I saw that again, I mean, Alice becomes full-on general in their scene.
I like that her knowledge of trebuchets was justified by one line of dialogue of, "Oh, my dad had an auto shop," or whatever.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like, look, people have dads that do a lot of things. That doesn't mean that you know this. And we're equating changing a carburetor to turning a crane into a trebuchet.
A fully functioning trebuchet.
Strikingly accurate, too. Remember when she's putting the marks?
Yeah.
For like 1, 2, 3 or whatever? So did they test that? Or are we just relying on Ruby Rose's auto shop history to do all the calculations? Like, is she pulling out a protractor?
And why did they take part in this battle? Couldn't they have just gone to the hive immediately?
I think it was because that zombie horde was coming to their home. They could have just left.
I mean, they had a terrible fortification too. Like, they weren't on a side street. A road just pointed right at them.
Right. And that building did not look as safe as they suggested. That looked menacingly dangerous to me. And when Dr. Isaacs has his plan, when he uses the human, the living human, and then they're like, "Oh, there's a survivor, save her." I was like getting up, yelling at the screen like my football team was losing at what I considered the immense idiocy of Alice and her crew, like throwing their whole plan out the window to leave the gates open or something for this survivor. When clearly we know what's going on. Like, he released her for this. And it's like, guys, you're all going to die. I mean, I know you're not going to die because it's only minute, 35 of the movie. But, like, if you didn't know the rules of movies and how long the movie was and that these heroes were supposed to live or win, like, you'd be like, you guys, no, let her die. Like, you all might die. Like, I was upset. That was actually, like, I have fun teasing a lot of things about this movie, but it's just all in fun. That scene where they're just like, "Oh, there's a survivor, lower it. Then they're leaving the building to go shoot things and try and help. I'm just like pulling out what little hair I have left, Mark. I was bothered by that.
And why did they have to hold the gate? Couldn't they have just knocked out all the steps and let the zombies pile in? And then dump the stuff on them? Because the zombies wouldn't have a way to come up if they, like, blew away all the stairs.
Right.
Are we going too in depth about this battle?
I don't know, maybe. Well, couldn't they just get those, well, I guess they're not controlling them, but you had those flying hell drakes from the first monster that Alice killed. Like, what is their purpose? Did they, like, just grab a handful of zombies and drop them somewhere? Like, someone designed that monster to look like that. I want to know why they put a big giant hand, like a construction site tool thing, on a crane.
I think that's a terrifying idea. That just scoops up zombies and can drop them in.
Or something?
Wait, what if it goes around dropping zombies in pools?
Oh, just ruining the pools.
Maybe Pinch a Penny designed them.
Yeah. So, by the way, Wesker seemed to want the last 4,000 people on Earth to die.
Why do you want people dead? They're not even bothering you.
But you see, originally they were like, we are going to engineer the apocalypse and make the world in our image. But, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. We know the answer, and I just forgot. Because at the end, there are all those people who were preserved there. So they were talking about 4,000 surface survivors.
Yeah. But why would they want them dead? There's people all over the world. And 4,000's nothing across the entire world.
Well, and the other thing is that if you only keep rich people, who's doing the work?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Like, who's doing the agriculture? Who's cleaning things? Who's making clothes? If you basically just have all these rich people, or maybe they have laborers in there, I don't know. But if it's mostly, like, you need to have more laborers than rich people by a landslide.
Wait, and you know what's crazy? They had Alice destroy the place where they made all the clones.
Yep.
Right? Wesker took her out of there where she couldn't have escaped at all. By herself. She couldn't have done it. And he blew up this facility with clone making functions.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you want them around?
Maybe they have duplicates at that location where they were storing all the chosen few? I don't know.
Their plans. I love Umbrella because they just freewheel it.
Yeah.
These guys just don't care.
Well, this is clearly like the movie where the villain has like an unlimited checkbook.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's nowhere to cash it anymore.
They have everything. Like, remember, what was it? The end of part 4, beginning of part 5, with all of those like huge high tech aircrafts coming down to the carrier boat. Like, I mean, it was just like I'm looking at these resources, and almost every time you see all this stuff, it all gets destroyed.
How are they powering this?
I mean, even if you have infinite money, like, that stuff takes time to make.
Couldn't it just go around and capture all the humans?
I guess. You just scoop them up with Helldrake claws.
You know what I think, dude? I think there's like 10 different bosses in Umbrella, and they just can't agree.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all just waging war because they just having a power struggle within themselves, and that's why everything's so discombobulated.
I believe it.
All right, so how about this? Let's go study up. Let's look at some Umbrella case studies, and when we come back, we'll figure out how they went wrong. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And we looked over those documents, John, and Umbrella, they did not have their stuff in order. Can you believe it?
I think that Umbrella needed to rewatch some of these movies before they got to the sequel.
Like on Spaceballs?
Right, yeah.
So they're watching it while they're doing it?
Just turning back and forth.
They're a very interesting company, Umbrella.
I'm a little curious about some of their scientific developments because I think that their dogs got more scared in the later sequels of getting hurt.
Yeah, oh, you're right.
The dogs in this one, like, seemed more regular dog-like, whereas the dogs in the first ones were like these fearless attack drones, you know?
Yeah, maybe they learned. Maybe they became like Bub from Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
I mean, I want a Halt and Catch Fire type TV show about the starting of this company when it was really small in a garage. It was just like Wesker with a laptop. His mother's making him Hot Pockets. Yeah, and he's just yelling at her. Mom!
The meatloaf!
Meatloaf! Some old school? Wait, was that old school?
Yeah. What did she do in there? What did she do?
He's talking like Zoolander. What did she do in there?
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. We have a question here. It's Logan from Cleveland, Ohio, and he asks, which Resident Evil game is, number 1, your favorite, and 2, what Resident Evil game monster scenario was the scariest? For me, the dogs in Resident Evil 2 video game, I think, were horrifying. Also, Was there much for survival horror games before Resident Evil, or did it start the genre?
So I wanted to accept this question, but I don't know anything about the video game, so I'm just thinking about the movies.
I mean, I played the video game once. Remember Nintendo GameCube?
That sounds familiar.
So my buddy had Resident Evil, and I had Super Smash Brothers. He's like, "Hey man, let's like trade games." So I was like, that's a good idea. Like I can take a break from this, and you could take a break from that. And I played it one night, not knowing anything about Resident Evil. I just played it in the dark, and I played it for about 15 minutes. And a zombie busts out of a room. I started screaming, killed my character, and I just turned it off. And so
that was it.
I guess to answer this question for Logan, what scares you the most? I mean, it's a good game, so I'll say the Resident Evil for GameCube. And I'll say what monster scenarios are scariest? I'll say when a zombie jumped out of a door and just killed me. That horrified me, John.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I want Super Smash Brothers back. And then the question is, did it start? I think Doom was behind Resident Evil. Was that kind of like a survival horror game? Or is that just a first-person shooter?
I think that's just a first-person shooter. That came out in the 90s.
Yeah. So was this like the next step of it?
I guess. Like the Resident Evil. Was Resident Evil before Silent Hill?
I think so. And Resident Evil, you were just walking around a house, the first one, I believe. You were just kind of strolling around a mansion.
I only played the games like the Street Fighter 2 kind of games.
Blanca.
Right.
E Honda. I'd either do the leg thing or the Blanca arm thing. And people just lose their shit with me, John, because I would just hit them constantly with the leg kicks.
So that was your scariest. It was the zombie just bursting out the door. I see, now not playing the games and just going with the movies. And the movies really aren't scary, but I think the best scenario, and we really had a lot of fun talking about it, was the dogs in part 1.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because you got dogs, you go into another room, there's dogs, and there's a zombie in this room when you're running away from the dogs.
There's a funhouse vibe to it.
Yeah, the dogs were pretty cool, and they looked good for their budget limitations, and they seem pretty effective, except for, when she jump kicks one.
I mean, just the best bit, though. There's a dog, then she goes into a room, there's a zombie, and then there's another dog that jumps through the glass, and then she goes in through another door, and there's more dogs. Like, that's fun. That's a good bit.
You know what else was maybe on the verge of scary was actually in this movie when Alice goes down that garbage chute, that like Chutes and Ladder funhouse chute, through that trap door. There were too many trap doors, by the way, in those corridors.
Yeah, there was a lot of them.
Like, when you really think about the fact that they were able to get all 3 of those people wherever they were, but like, they just happened to be right there. They could have been anywhere in that whole network of things. Were there just trapdoors all over the place?
Yeah, people constructed hundreds of them.
Apparently. But so when Alice goes down that chute, right, and there are like some dead bodies hanging around, and there was that weird, big, hulking ghoul that was really fast.
It had big teeth.
That might have been the, air quotes here, but scariest thing I can think of from these movies.
And that monster bit Razor's head off.
Dude, I loved that too. Like, that was just that's like Venom.
Like, Razor just got lit up.
That thing was like Venom.
Yeah.
Basically, with all its little tendrils and stuff. Like, that was a good fun kind of scare. And survival horror, gosh, I'm thinking back. Like, all the ones I can think of are like that I ever played like in an arcade when I was younger was before Resident Evil and Silent Hill, and they were always like the first person shooters, the House of the Dead games, things like that. But you weren't really, you were just going through the level color by numbers.
Yeah, you were shooting stuff.
It was taking you to where you were going next, and yeah, you just shot. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a good, interesting. Wonder what really started that stuff. Like, I remember watching my cousin play Silent Hill. That game scared us. My cousin Ryan would be playing this, and I just watch. I loved watching him play. I never played it ever. And it's like, dude, it's sunny Florida, right? It's like, it's 3:00. We just got out of school. There's all this light coming in the living room. It's like totally well lit. And that movie was scaring the crap out of us. Or the game would startle us. the first time something would happen.
Can you just
really got us.
Can you walk wherever on Silent Hill?
Yeah, and this you could. It was like, what do you call it? Like an open platform.
Oh, got it. Because I don't think I could have walked wherever in Resident Evil, but you can kind of stroll in a various area, like certain area. And so I was just kind of strolling, and I got murdered by a zombie.
No, like in this one, if you were in the wrong place, like if you just, whatever, you found some key, and the key is to something in the school, and then you don't realize that, and so you go like all the way to the other corner, if you will, of like the level, the board, the whatever. It's like you might watch your character jogging across town for 8 minutes. No, I'm not. It's not even a joke. Like it will take you a while to get across town. So some of the game is just that, and then you hear something like something flying. There were these gargoyle monsters in it or something that could get you from the mist.
Oh, brother!
That was a fun game.
Was Sean Bean in it?
No, I wish he was. Poor guy.
Well, I mean, that's a fun question.
I feel a little remiss that I never really played any of these games.
I played the game once and I screamed. And I turned it off.
And you're a big dude, and you were an even bigger dude then.
Yeah, I was a monster.
You were a Hulk.
Yeah, and I mean, we were talking about this on the last podcast. Megan joined me, and we were watching House on Haunted Hill. A lot of people aren't saying it's scary, but for me, I'm a wimp. And I guess I just really got into it with the dread, and it really hit me hard. I was able to focus on it. But I used Megan's leg, I used the couch, I used my hands.
I loved that show.
I used everything I could to block the screen from me at certain times.
I thought that it was really good.
I used my cat.
Cultivating dread.
I used Ghost in front of me one time. I picked up so Megan's leg. She was like laying down on the couch. I lifted it in front of my eyes. I mean, I was in a bad place watching that. So yeah, I mean, I'm lucky I had Megan around. Otherwise, I just wouldn't have been watching it. I'd have been watching something happy. But yeah, I'm not good with horror movies. I fly all over the place. Just whatever. All right, so back to the movie.
Back to the movie. So Ruby Rose, by the way, coming back to Ruby Rose, in this movie, did she just not have all those tattoos yet? Or did they cover up most of her tattoos? Because she had a few.
They had to have covered them up, right?
Okay. I don't know.
Because I don't remember seeing any of them, and I know she's loaded with tats, right?
Yeah, she's got sleeves.
Yeah, so I didn't see. Yeah, so they probably covered them up on her, put some long sleeve shirts on her.
No, I mean, she was wearing short sleeves, and you saw some tattoos.
Oh, well, well, that was 2017 though, so she must have gotten a boatload recently.
Yeah, that's like I'm a little dodgy. It's like, so either she got a whole lot, or they just decided to cover them. But just, her kind of like tech, kind of like, mechanic thing. It's like, why would you take them off? It was just curious. I'm sure I could have Googled this, and I just didn't. But that was a curious thing for me.
John, you and I need to quit our jobs and just work in an automobile shop for a year.
So we can make trebuchets.
Yeah, and survive the zombie apocalypse.
Honestly, I just need someone in my family to have a shop, and then I will magically know how to do this.
Oh, you're right. So you need to open a shop, and I'll just go there and read a magazine one day.
Right.
And boom, trebuchet.
You're going to have it.
Like, you come to my house, and it's the most fortified thing ever, and everyone around me's freaked out.
And you did that like in an hour or two.
I mean, yeah. I am a big trebuchet fan, John. You know this.
Because the timeline, right?
Yeah, timeline. And I've been watching movies lately. I was watching a bad movie the other day, and there's trebuchets. I'm like, I'm in. When I see a trebuchet, I'm all about it. The more, the merrier. So that scene was pretty cool. And
do you like big turbine fans?
No, I don't like big turbine fans. And so they survive the attack, right? Well, a few of them do. A lot of people get slaughtered. I don't even know their names. And so they're like, we got to go to the pit, because in the first one, a bomb drops on Raccoon City and it opens up an opening into the hive.
Right.
So they're chased by dogs. Well, they jump into water and the dogs don't follow. And then the dogs just run around and chase them. I don't get it. And they get to this massive turbine, and they go through it really slowly, John.
Yeah, that took a long time.
That was a long turbine scene.
And there's this thing that I've seen it in so many movies now, Like, it happens in Event Horizon, although I think they did a better job with it in Event Horizon. You see it but it's in loads of movies where, someone opens the air hatch and there's this huge pressure of air, like sucking the protagonist potentially to their doom, right? Do you ever notice that for some reason, if they don't lose their footing, they are not being blown away? But if they lose their footing, all of a sudden it's like they're a bed sheet in the wind.
Yeah. As long as I can keep my feet on the ground.
Like that's not how any of this would work. Like, and then the one person who still has their feet firmly on the ground is holding the other person by the hand. In this case, it was Alice holding Ruby Rose's character's hand, while Ruby Rose is being pulled through the air. If the wind was strong enough to do that, Alice would like have a dislocated shoulder.
Yeah.
But it's a funny gag, though, that when this happens in movies, you ever notice, like, because some people will still be crawling along, and then other people, like, their feet are off the ground, they're like being sucked into the vortex, and it's just by virtue of, are your feet planted on the ground?
I'm a huge fan of Hurricane Heist. I've watched it twice, and it got better the second time. But there's a scene where one person's standing in one section, feet on the ground. 3 feet away from them, a car is rolling. Like, I mean, I'm dead serious, and I can get over it because it's Hurricane Heist, but I think your rule applies here. If your feet are on the ground, you're safe.
Right, but the moment your feet come off the ground, you're just gonna fly away like an old newspaper in the wind. 700
miles an hour.
Right.
Go for it.
No, but this whole gag is one of these, like, it's a video game gag.
Yeah.
Why was the turbine ever off?
Yeah.
Right? If this is something where Wesker's like, turn on the turbine. Like, what? Well, why was it ever off?
Well, you know what? They probably killed all their people.
So they didn't need to get airflow?
Well, and then their turbine generator guy was dead. Or on break. Oh, he was on break.
But he just said, hey, Red Queen.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Flip the switch.
Yeah. But I do like that they flipped the switch. Ruby, everyone gets saved, and he's like, reverse it. And then Ruby Rose gets smooshed. But they play the most dramatic music, like we're supposed to be crying, like at the end of Fellowship after Boromir eats it.
Right.
You know that scene where they're all crying about Boromir? I get that one. But after she, gets bombarded, I was like, oh, okay.
So that's a total video game moment. And then there's another video game moment. And this is one of the most confoundingly blatant video game moments for me, I think, in the movie. Because then they get in, the Red Queen, like, talks to him a little bit. And the Red Queen says, Alice, here's this earpiece. Put in this earpiece so that I can tell you that someone here betrayed you, right? Without them knowing. The Red Queen doesn't have hands. How did that Red Queen get that earpiece there?
Drone?
I guess. Like, just that earpiece being there, it was such a video game moment.
Yeah. Is that good, though? That, like, it's are they finally embracing the video game tropes?
Maybe. Like, it makes it more bad movie-ish.
Yeah.
But I when I saw that, though, that just clicked for me. Like, this is like something straight out of a video game.
I mean, all right, John. Let's cover this real quick. So this movie, it's not my least favorite. Apocalypse is, but I think it's definitely my second to least favorite.
It's just bottom 3, maybe bottom 2 for me.
Yeah. I guess I would go Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 2. 5, 4, 1, 3, 6, 2.
Yeah, it sounds fine.
I feel like I can say that authoritatively, too, just for my case. Like, I could back up my case, because I know a lot about these movies. I really hope there's, like, a party sometime where I can use these skills I've learned, everything I've learned about this franchise to use.
Right. Speaking, oh God, of all the weird things. And I wrote this down. I actually have a note on this. We're talking about the turbine, right?
Yeah.
When the turbine was going and it kills Ruby Rose, he then said, turn off the turbine. He could have just left it on. It would have killed everybody. Because eventually they would have gotten tired.
Yep.
They were like stalemated. They weren't even moving forward anymore.
Yeah.
Like, and he's just like, turn off the turbine. I remember just sitting there like, wait, why? You could kill them all, Wesker. Like, I don't necessarily want you to win, but Are you a dumbass?
Yeah, like, Scott Evil would hate this. Scott Evil would hate this.
Yeah,
leave it on.
It's like, what are you doing? Leave it on. What? I mean, is there low battery? Like, leave it.
Is it sucking all the air out of here? Like, what's happening? He would have
killed everybody.
Yeah. Wesker would have gotten a raise.
If he left that on for another 30 seconds, the movie would have ended.
Imagine that. Oh, another thing I didn't touch on. This movie, it goes back to dour narration in the beginning. Alice goes back.
I like the opening narration.
Really? It seemed very depressed.
I liked it, though.
I like this one?
I liked what it covered, maybe, is the...
Oh, the subject matter.
The way that it staged the movie.
There we go. Which one featured the kind of happier narration? The third one?
Wasn't the second one.
Yeah, I think it's the third one, where she's sort of cheery about it. You know, things are horrible, but it's not that bad.
It's almost like she's sitting around a campfire while she's, like, driving up to Alaska. She's sitting at a campfire she found, like, a 6-pack of Coors Light, so she had a light buzz when she was doing that narration that time.
I want to see that. A drunk Alice? There's one time in the hive. All right, so we're at the turbine, and then they get separate. We haven't even talked about Ellie Larder's boyfriend. Do we want to talk about him?
I don't care.
He works for him, and he's bad.
That was the earpiece betrayal. Yep.
And then Alice switches his gun, and then so they go back in. But let's just jump into the finale of this, the final 20 minutes, the bonkers twist. So the Red Queen is Alice as a child, right?
No. So the Red Queen is the old lady board member as a child.
Yeah.
Right?
But they're all the same lady.
Right, yeah, because they were saying that Alice is the young woman that she could never be, and I'm the youth that you never had.
Jeez, wait. So there's 3 generations, kind of. Well, there's a clone, there's a hologram, and then the real lady.
Right.
But the real lady's not that old, right?
So she's supposed to be like 25 years old. She's basically the same age as Alice. It's just that she had something like progeria that accelerated her aging, whatever.
Got it. So then there's 3 generations of them.
Right.
But I guess the one thing that I didn't like was, what does he say? Oh, so when Wesker looks at Alice, so the hero of a 15-year trilogy, and he goes, "You are a clone. You have no memory. You have no memory because you have no life. You're a puppet whose strings are cut and wanders around for 10 years. A rather troublesome one for years." That's not something nice to say about your hero. But you're a puppet whose strings were cut and wandered around for 10 years.
Well, at least he got his, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, big time. And they fight in the laser grid room where it doesn't do the little waffle thing.
Right, and if it just did that.
I don't understand this laser grid, John. Wait, was it set on random?
I guess there's something. There's a lot of weird questions to be asked about this. And then you've got and Dr. Isaac is like this kind of upgraded, like Johnny Mnemonic Terminator, Keanu Reeves Neo thing. Right, this Agent Smith with the Terminator like display panel in his eyes as he's doing combat simulations.
They rip off Sherlock 2. Remember the scene where Sherlock battles Jared Harris's Moriarty? Ooh, who's also in the Resident Evil movies.
Wait. Did it rip off Sherlock 2, or did Sherlock 2 and this rip off Next?
Oh my goodness. the bored Nicolas Cage movie? All right, so guys, Next, I think it's currently on Netflix. Watch it. And for 2 reasons. Julianne Moore's silly hats, and then Nick Cage's facial expression never changes during the whole movie.
When he's like escaping a bunch of security in a Las Vegas casino, like I was just giggling the whole time. Like it's
so Sherlock 2 ripped off Next, which then in turn was ripped off by this movie.
Yeah.
Oh man.
These combat simulations and it was cute. I kind of enjoyed it. It's just like, this is like the bad movie stuff that I love.
Yeah.
Was that whole thing. And like, he even looks, he's like, he knows what she's thinking. It's like, it's not going to work. You're not going to make it to that quill pen. And that decanter is going to fail you as well. Like, he was just such a slimy British villain.
He's loving every second of it. He's loving it.
Going after either Bond or Indiana Jones.
Yeah, he was loving it though. That's why I love this kind of when we get to this section of the movie, because he's in fight scenes with Alice. He makes Wesker gets chumped out. I kind of like that, but. All right, so at the end, right, Alice goes up to release a T-virus antidote, but that could kill her because she's with the T-virus. And she does it, it kills all the zombies. And then the Red Queen comes up to her and goes, it was a test by me and other Milla to see if you were worthy, because no one else would do this.
Right, yeah, just the selflessness of it all.
So...
I didn't. That was a pill that I couldn't swallow.
Okay, because it's funny. I'm not lost for words once, but I'm glad you jumped in there because I completely froze. Like if I was an android right now, I just was like I would be frozen right now.
Well, also like this movie was really trying to add pithy substance. Like that was just one of the attempts that failed a little bit, but I loved the three generation Alice thing. That was really cool. To me, anyway. But by the way, when she came out, though, and she released that airborne antivirus, if you watch the movie, you'll see that there was mist in that battle scene with all those zombies, and the mist was not going in the direction of the zombies, and the mist was moving very slowly. So when she releases it and all the zombies just instantly fall to the ground, it wouldn't have reached any of them. And someone could say, well, maybe it disperses really rapidly, whatever. Maybe there was wind. It's like, no, because they showed us the mist. I know how much wind there wasn't and what way it was going. So if they just didn't put the mist, you could have said, well, maybe there was a breeze.
How bad would your luck be if you unleashed that and the breeze took it the other way? I'd be like, oh, it's just not my day.
It blew it down a cave so it would never disperse across the world.
Now, and then, so, is Claire still alive?
I don't think so.
Ellie Larder makes it.
She probably is alive, because she made it all the way to that grand chamber.
Because she came up at the end, and then realized that she was alive. But why didn't she go with her at the end when they're being chased by the three vending machine claw dragons?
This craziness. Oh, wait. And Dr. Isaac's other clone comes out that didn't know it was a clone.
And just starts stabbing the other guy.
I mean, yeah, it's like, so this is again, we're in the bad movie-ness that I like. But so the true Dr. Isaac, who's all like modified, right? He's practically like something from Cyberdyne Systems. He has all these simulations, right? But when he gets defeated by, like, he even said all these things. You need the clone to believe it's a clone so that it'll da-da-da-da-da, right? So it'll care, so it'll fight for its life. Well, he tells the one that it's a clone and shatters his world. Like, he didn't have any simulation there. He didn't predict that something might go wrong there. And He's talking like he doesn't give two shits about him too. Yeah, like he's being snide. He's like, you're just a clone. You're just out there doing my bidding, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, how did you not see this coming?
Wow.
And then there was even the grenade that Alice got him with. Like, how did you not see that? That struck me as a big one.
That's a simulation right there.
Or maybe he needs to think about the simulation for the simulation to go. Maybe it's just not all the time. Maybe that's my hand wavy way around it. But it's like, dude, you are calling your clone a piece of crap. After you gave the lectures about how important it is that the clones don't know that they're clones. And then we're going to be shocked when he comes and like stabs you in the throat or whatever.
He shanked them in the gut.
I mean.
All right. So my favorite, one thing I love about Paul W.S. Anderson, and I think it's what makes him great and what makes him not so great at times. I think he just gets an idea of something. He goes, yeah, let's do that.
Or like the video game notion of giving Dr. Isaac 2 lives.
Yeah, I just think he's like, you know what? That'd be awesome if he meets his clone at the end, and then like this and that. But then they completely forget about the simulation. I think he's very idea driven. Does that make sense?
Right. Well, and it comes back to our, just the notion of like gags in movies. I guess it's more important when you're making a movie or a flick to get your gag.
Yeah.
And build things around your gags, as opposed to the filmy things that are really trying to bring synthesis to things.
Yeah, I just think he pops up with ideas and he does it. But we got to watch Sir Jorah Mormont overact, which I wouldn't trade.
I want to compare his screen time to Milla Jovovich
in this movie.
Yes,
he's on screen a lot.
And also, if both of his clones, if he and his clone are on screen at the same time, that minute counts as 2 minutes. Because it's a Jorah Mormont minute, not the actor.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? It's like it's so between all of his clones, the flashbacks, even though the flashbacks are very brief, I want to know like how many times over his characters get minutes of screen time versus Milla.
He's the co-lead in this movie. They have 2 major fight scenes.
Yeah.
They have a fight scene on the tank, and then they have a fight scene in the laser room.
And they even simulate the fight scene. There's the fight scene that didn't literally happen in the movie, but we see the simulations too.
He has a big role in this movie.
So we saw the simulation of him killing her with the quill pen, him breaking the decanter over her face. So that's really a whole nother fight too.
Man, they should just make a movie about him next.
This movie was his movie.
Whoa. It's a good theory. I like it. I have a bunch of notes in here going, this dude's crushing it.
Well, first of all, in this, I think he thinks he's the hero of this movie.
When the Red Queen is?
Yeah, but I think he's got his 4,000 or however many rich people down there. Yeah. Why have you woken me up? Oh, there seems to be a problem. I'll solve it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because they woke him up.
And why kill those 4,000 people? Don't you need as many people as you can get? Like, they're not going to become... They have nothing. They have no technology. So, they're not even going to live that long. Wouldn't you want them out and about?
Maybe they're just all a bunch of rich assholes. I don't know.
So just kill them? Because you went from 4,000 people to... You could have 8,000.
Yeah, I don't know. There were a lot of people down there. So we knew there were 4,000 people on the surface that were all going to die in exactly 48 hours for some reason. And then there were however many, I'm guessing 1,000, 2,000 more that were down there in his facility where he was awoken, right? Do you think they were just doing like a Fiddler's Green from Land of the Dead?
Yeah, pretty much. Just let him do it, right?
Little Fiddler's Green.
What a great skyscraper.
And I wonder, though, were all those people asses or was it just a bunch of the asshats from Umbrella Corporation? But then there were just a bunch of other people who were just affluent who wanted a good future for their families.
I'm sure there were families in there.
So, but they're all dead now, right? They're dead. Alice just decided they're all evil.
Yeah, and they're legit dead.
Did we just turn Alice into a villain?
And the world's population just got cut in half.
Yeah.
Because of the pod.
We know that she killed the biggest douchebag, but it's not like they were all that. Oh, unless he had replaced all those other people with clones of himself.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Well, then he should have woken up more of himself then, and then he would have won.
He totally would have done that.
He would have won.
But let's say there's 8 more of him. You would have had a bunch more people. She killed half the world's population at the end.
He should have won.
Yeah. The world would have gone on.
When I just look at the resources he had at his disposal, he should have won.
They should have just not battled Alice. You know how many, if they just would have left her alone, right?
Yep.
You know how many people could have survived?
All of them.
This was unnecessary. This was a necessary war.
Yeah. Especially when that antivirus was in there the whole time.
Man. Oh yeah, they could have just unleashed that.
The whole time.
Right, wait, they could have just unleashed it and then started their new world because they're down to so few people.
Yeah, but I guess they wanted, I'm assuming there was a fanaticism here. They wanted their particularly, curated set of people.
Man, want no riffraff?
Yes. Again, you need laborers, though.
If they hadn't sent Alice to that facility, they would have had clones for days.
Yeah. Or then again, maybe for laborers, they were thinking about clones. There's that too.
Yeah.
Because they have great clone tech anyway.
I mean, the world's big. They could have been like, listen, guys, you take this continent, we'll take this continent. Cool? Cool. Right?
It just never goes that way, though. People always get greedy.
Yeah, give it like 2,000 years.
They all just need to be the biggest jerk. By the way, so when we saw like really old Alice, all I could think was like, that's what Alice is going to look like in Resident Evil 27.
Yeah. Just kicking butt.
Like when she's 90, she'll actually be 90 years old in Resident Evil Part 27.
I would love it. I will watch it. I mean, I'll still be talking about them. You won't. I'll watch them on the theater.
Yep.
I'm invested now.
Take my money.
We spent about 12 hours and countless hours researching these things. 12 hours recording, or no, about 11 hours recording, and then researching.
Yep.
I want more.
It's a lot of time to dedicate to Resident Evil. So who spent more time on Resident Evil than us? Well, Milla Jovovich, Paul W.S. Anderson, and then it's us.
Yep. the two of us. Because I listen to every single commentary. Wait, is this like Wesker's joke on me towards the end? Nah, you know what though, man? I know we're joking around, but I do appreciate the time that he took into all these commentaries, Paul W.S. Anderson. Like, he does love these movies, so it does make me happy. Like, I didn't waste time on these. And if you're going to podcast, you might as well know as much as possible, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, they're fun watches, except for maybe part 2.
I wish this would have ended stronger. I wish this would have been like a 5, because then we could have had a great time talking about it.
Yeah. There's
no Michelle Rodriguez being pulled in the water by more water zombies. Water zombies are always sneaking on people.
I've had such fun action, too. In this one, most of the action... so the end action was fun, but, like, all the siege battle stuff, like, that was just phoned in for me.
Yeah,
I never cared.
General Alice?
Yeah, I never cared about any of that.
Well, you know what, though? In the first one, there's a water zombie that bites a guy, right? And then in the 5th one, there's water zombies, and then this one, there's a water zombie.
Yeah, like they're water zombies.
All right. So, we've ranked them. We've talked about this movie. What's your favorite moment from all 6 movies?
Oh, okay. Favorite moment? It's a lot of the end scenes, like the end of part 4, when you see all those aircrafts coming to their super big aircraft carrier thing. I love at the end of, I think it was part 3, where you see all the Jova clones. I love the beginning of part 4 when you see that she's using her Jova clones and they're going all like ninja chic. Those are some like really fun moments for me. Just great ideas.
Yeah. Oh man. I think that my favorite scenes are just watching we really did like this trilogy 6 films have really evolved. I loved in the 3rd one when the CGI for the crows was really good. Remember how we waxed poetically about that?
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is growing up. And then the 4th one, they used the Phantom camera for the slow motion in the bathroom fight. And the 5th one, they had that cool in reverse action scene.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
So I really enjoyed watching Paul W.S. Anderson take a lot of chances as a filmmaker. And maybe that's why this one's annoying, because the second one we don't need to talk about. The 3rd one, though, I felt they really tried to make it a different movie, really bring in CGI. The 4th and 5th were bonkers, and I think they were really trying to do different things. But this one just did nothing different.
Yeah.
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 I mean, what they did that enriched it for me again, it was just the story-driven stuff, the stuff at the end, the 3 Alices,
the trilogy of bitches.
Right, the Trinity of.
Oh, Trinity! I call them the trilogy of bitches. The trilogy of bitches. I bet when he read that line in his trailer in the morning, he was like, hell yeah.
And for anyone who hasn't listened to all the other episodes that we've done on these Resident Evils, these are much more satisfying when they are seen in close succession.
Oh,
when the story is fresh in your mind. Because again, it's like comparing to the Saw movies. People thought the Saw movies were so disjunct and I don't even know what's happening. It's like, But if you watch the Saw movies, like, well, day after day after day, or one and then wait a week and see the next one, wait a week and see the next one, it's all fresh. They are actually pretty brilliant all of a sudden, the way that they are woven together. And this, well, I'm not calling this brilliant, but this is another set of movies where it really benefits you to know what recently happened.
Yeah.
Whereas Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, you can just watch.
I remember I was messaging you. I'm like, I can't wait to get to the next one, because I didn't watch the next one until we podcasted about it. But then I got to this one and I was like, oh, so I kind of killed my momentum. But I was really excited to get to this one because I completely forgot everything about it.
Got to get the answers.
That's right. I guess since we just summed this up, do we have any plugs, John?
I've recently been listening a lot to the Fear Merchants podcast. It's called like The Bazaar. They were doing 31 creatures for 31 days of October leading up to Halloween. What they do is they do like 5 or 10 creature categories per podcast. And I was really having a lot of fun listening to them. And they're pretty supportive of us on Twitter. They're at The Fear Merchant on Twitter. Cool guys. I've always been a fan of Crash Palace. And we know our friend Johnny Num, who gave us a question today. He's a part of that crew with Billy Crash. So they're at Crash Palace, and their podcast is called The Last Knock, and that's another joy of mine. And I've been enjoying the Faculty of Horror, but mostly horror podcasts, of course. But yeah, just really cool people with cool content out there. And I actually listen to our podcast. I think I've said that to our listeners before, but I actually love listening to us, because when you listen to a recording of yourself, it doesn't feel the same way it felt when you were thinking it. You actually get to react to yourself. It's kind of fun.
Get to enjoy it a little bit.
Well, yeah, it's like, oh my God, I sounded really funny there. I didn't even know that was funny. Like, like goofy or whatever, just sincere. It's kind of fun. But yeah, and everyone else who gave us listener questions. We have Logan from Cleveland, Ohio. We had your colleague.
Yep. Forgot his name.
Send a question. Big shout out to that guy. What about you, Mark?
Once again, thanks for hanging out on this. Make sure to go to iTunes, rate, review, subscribe. Check out any of our older episodes. We're now on TuneIn, which is Amazon's podcast. So they're kind of moving all their stuff. Like you can find a lot of that on, if you have an Alexa and all that, TuneIn kind of comes with all that. So we're now on that. So make sure to check that out. And listen, we just want listener questions. So if you have any listener questions, just head by Facebook or Twitter or our website. Let us know. And no, John, thanks for joining me. This was fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for John Levingood. Wait, John, zombie water drinker Levingood. Ooh. This is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.